My name is Christina, and I love to prepare Caribbean authentic dishes. I love to cook Caribbean foods, and I am from St. Lucia, but I live in Connecticut right now. And whilst I embrace other foods and other cultural foods and I love to prepare Caribbean dishes, especially authentic dishes. And one of the dishes that I would like to present to you is something called pemi. In Jamaica, they call it tukuno, Thai leaf blue. In Trinidad, I think they call it pastel. In St. Lucia, we call it pemi. Some people spell it P-A-M-I or P-A-Y-M-E, but it's pemi. And as a child, I remember growing up, and there was always a pemi lady selling pennies, and it was always also comfort food for a lot of people. And it has a different name. It has different names in different Caribbean islands. For instance, dirt as well, or whatever you want, but it is something that I would like to introduce to you. Okay, now for the pemi, let me show you. We will need certain things. First of all, in terms of tools, the coconut. Some people feel very intimidated when they go to the supermarket. They say, oh my God, how do I do this? It's hard, it has a hard shell. But there's nothing to fear about the coconut. It's very easy to open up. For instance, I don't know if you go around, you see, especially right here in the supermarket, you see sometimes a coconut has this line around it. All you do is you get a hammer. Because remember I said you need your tools to hammer all around the nut. You go all around the nut like this. All around the nut. Oops, there it goes. And what happens is that the water in the nut, if it doesn't smell bad and it's fresh, it's very nutritious. So you pour it into a mixing cup. And this you will need when you're going to mix your pemi. Okay, now this is the nut that you're going to take off from the shell. And it could be, for some people it might be a little tedious, but it's very easy. All you do is you get your knife. Try to use a blunt knife, because using a sharp knife is not the best in case something happens and it gets loose, you get a cut or whatever. So just to be on the safe side, try to use a knife that is not too sharp at the end. And you may want to break up the coconut, and you continue to use the hammer over the sink and go like this. Hold it very firmly and go like this. Some people, what they do, they just smash the coconut against the concrete and just open up. And of course when you do that, you lose sometimes the water in the nut. So this is what you have after you break up your nut and cut it up into the food processor. I remember when my grandmother did pemi, at the time they didn't have a food processor, so she had to grate the nut, you know, in order to get the soft texture. But now we have the food processor, which makes life so much easier. So all you do, you cut it up. You don't just put it in big chunks. You cut it up and let the food processor work for you. Okay, so after that, this is what you end up with. This is the end product. Nice fine coconut. So what you do, you put this coconut into a mixing bowl. Now this is like about 2 cups of coconut. One nut will give you 2 cups of coconut, and this is 2.5 cups of pumpkin or squash, and also 1 cup of sweet potato, all mixed together. You can mix the potato and the squash together in a food processor. I usually do the coconut separately, and then I do the squash and the sweet potato separately. And then this is the end result, and you mix this into your coconut, and then you need cornmeal. Don't mistake cornmeal for corn flour. So we say corn flour, cornmeal is grinded corn. Corn flour is even more processed. It's really fine. This you need cornmeal, and then you need at least 1.5 cups of cornmeal. And you don't need cornmeal. And you want to add 1.5 cups of cornmeal. Bear in mind that you already have the sweet potato and the pumpkin, so you don't want too much cornmeal, otherwise it's going to be too stiff. Okay, then you have the sugar. Now sugar, you can add a cup of sugar. I usually add a cup of sugar. For some people might want less sugar, you know, probably don't like it too sweet. If you do, you can add half a cup of sugar. That's all right too. And also too, some people do add raisins as well. I don't prefer raisins. There's nothing wrong with having raisins in it. I guess it's even more nutritious. It's just that I don't prefer raisins. But if you do, knock yourself out. Put raisins in so you're penny. And then what I like doing is add a ripe banana. It's the banana, what it does, it gives the penny a nice texture, a moist texture, especially when it's done, and also flavor as well. So you chop your banana into a blender. Now depending on how much banana, you know, I usually like to stay with 1 banana, depending if you're making like 2 servings. And when I say 2 servings, like one of these servings is going to feed at least 8. But if you're going to look at like 20 or 18 persons, then you may want to put 2 bananas. But don't overpower it with too many bananas, because what's going to happen, you don't want the banana flavor overpowering. Okay? Too much banana we don't want, because we don't want the flavor overtaking the penny. We just want a little bit of banana, because we want to marry everything together, and we want everything to just be to have the right flavor. Okay, now that we have our mixture, try not to make the mixture too soft, because if not, you can't work with it. This is the water that we use from the coconut, some of the juice, the coconut juice from the nut when we broke it. This can be incorporated into the mixture. Then it's optional, a little vanilla essence. You don't have to put it. You don't have to put it if you don't want it. Most times I don't. But, and of course, spices. Now, you put a pinch of nutmeg, pinch cinnamon, and also a little ginger. Now, if you have like real ginger, it's good to grate a little more ginger into the mixture. But if you don't have, the powdered ginger will do. Just use a little less. Okay, there we go. Then we mix up everything together. Get everything married into this mixture. Now if your mixture is still a little too stiff, what you can do, however, is to add a little water, and or you can use some of this coconut milk, which will make it even more coconutty, if there is such a word. That's just my word, I mean. Okay, to get that right mixture. Okay, and then you mix up everything together. Until everything is well blended and you can see the beautiful colors of the pumpkin, or the squash, and the coconut, and the potato, and everything. And it smells so good. Oh God. Now, you will need banana leaves. In the Caribbean, if you're in the Caribbean and you have banana trees or plantain trees, you just go outdoor and get it or ask a neighbor. But if you don't have, especially overseas, you can get the packages at the Caribbean stores or shops, and also at the Latino supermarkets. You get them, and all you do with the leaves is that they come in like this, and okay, what I like to do is also, before I add the mixture on, just I get out of the way. Before I get the mixture on, usually what I like to do is to get a wet towel or wet paper napkin and wipe the leaves. I think they usually to clean them up with warm water, but I always like to do my own cleaning. I remember with my grandmother, what she used to do sometimes, she would put the leaves over the fire. This would get them very soft and very pliable to when you put the mixture in. Now, what we need, our scissors, we need the tools. If you notice, we need the tools. We need the hammer to break the coconut. We need the tools. And in that case, that would be the scissors. And then the twine. You can always get the twine at any hardware store across, dollar store, whatever. You get the twine and you cut your leaf about, let's say, 8 inches. 8 inches. And don't be too alarmed if you go through trials and errors. That's what this is all about sometimes. You know, trials and errors. Now, at this point, when the coconut is being grinded in the food processor and you're mixing stuff, your water should be on the stove, because what we need to do, as soon as we finish with the penny, we parcel them up in little cute little packages. We need to put them into the boiling water. So your water has to be boiled, so have to be ready. So this is what you do. You take this mixture, right, about that will do. And this is something, you know, as I said, you can get the kids involved in this. And it doesn't have to be Caribbean, you know, I mean, most people like to try out authentic foods and stuff, and it's always wise to get the kids involved in doing these things, you know, and to get them out from the computer for a while and get them involved, and you'll be surprised how they would enjoy this thing. Or you can have like a Caribbean theme, a Caribbean party, a penny party, you know, and invite people over. You can have a Caribbean theme. You can play some nice Caribbean music, you know, and have fun, you know. Have your girlfriends over, get the margarita going, you know, and stuff. and have everybody get involved in doing stuff. And that's the thing I think we need to do more of, you know. Get together, do things, laugh, and life is hard as it is already, you know. Have a nice girlfriend party, or even guys can do this too, you know. Have this, do this. And usually when everybody gets involved in doing something, sometimes it tastes so much better. And everybody, oh, I was involved in doing this, and therefore, you know, they enjoy it even more. Especially the kids. We want our kids to learn how to do these things. Because a lot of us, we no longer in the Caribbean, sometimes we make our homes elsewhere. And we want our children to continue the tradition, you know, of authentic foods. And just not going to some market and picking up stuff. And, you know, we want them to learn how to do things. And this is a good way to teach kids, you know, things that we grew up loving, knowing as children, you know, so that they too pass it on to the kids. Yeah, so I challenge you people, take the penny challenge. Try it out, you'll like it. Get everybody involved, and make some people, you know, you tell them, okay, you bring the coconut, somebody else can bring the corn meal, somebody else can bring the squash or the pumpkin, you know, and have a nice Caribbean thing. Make a nice table. You can even use these very leaves to make the decorations on your table. You line them on nicely on the table, you put a nice clear table covering over it. You get some nice tropical flowers like ginger lilies and Ethereum lilies. You make a nice tropical bouquet with some shells, and you play some nice Caribbean music, and everybody can party, you know. You have some margarita on, and so, and afterwards everybody will sit down. And there's something like, I as a child, I was always intrigued at the penny, because not very often you see food coming, leaves, but you have to open up the leaves like a little gift, and oh, there's something to eat in there, you know. So make it a fun thing. So now that the penny is ready, you make our penny. Let's make one more, so you get the idea of how you go about it. And I would really like people to try this thing and try it and let me know. Give me some feedback as to how it went. And if there's something that you didn't understand or whatever, always do it again. It's nothing like that. Don't be afraid that it doesn't come out perfect. All you want to do is to make sure that when you tie it up, that it stays intact, because you don't want it running all over the place. This is why I say the mixture has to be nice and not too runny, not too soft. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a mess on your hand. End up with corn and porridge. You don't want that, you know. See why? It looks such like a nice little package. And then your water is already boiling, so all you have to do is to be careful. This is hot, so therefore you don't just drop it in, because it's gonna plop and the water is gonna burn your face. So you go very gently, one by one, and you put it in. Okay, put it in into the boiling water. And about, depending on how many you're making, you can eyeball it. Put like about maybe 2 quarts of water, 3 quarts of water to 8 maybe. And if you're going to have more, you just put some more water. You know, for instance, as I said, 1 coconut, small potato, and about 2/3. No, let's say about 2 cups of squash or pumpkin. All right, and then you blend it up with your sugar as well, as I said. If you want it sweet, you put a cup. If you want it less sweet, and especially if you're going to add raisins, you put less sugar. And of course the banana will also give it a little sweetness. And all of that comes together, and then this is what you're going to get. Penny. I'm so happy to introduce you to penny. I know you like it. And this is what the end product will be. And then we've had some that I prepared before, and this is what it looks like. Now, isn't that cute? This is so cute. You know, little packages that comes in banana leaves. Isn't that something? So all we do, this is the end result. Oh, this is so delicious. I can tell you, you have to try it out for yourself to see. Call the girls. Have a Saturday afternoon. Make it a girls' night or whatever. Get the kids, especially the kids on the weekend. Get the plantain leaves, get the coconut, get the things, and have a penny challenge. I challenge you. It's gonna be good. And you'll thank me for it. I am Christina. Have a great day. Next time on Authentic Caribbean Dishes.